So we are now recording. This course will be posted on YouTube and in the Canvas course later today. I will be sending out an announcement or an email notification on how to access this Zoom session. But to begin, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Chris Rogers. I'm the Instructional Design Technology Specialist for Grossmont College. I will be serving as backup replacement for Michael Stewart, who is an instructor in the AOJ department. Michael, you want to introduce yourself to the course?
Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for making it to the orientation. As Chris mentioned, I am Michael Stewart. I'm a faculty member full-time here in the AOJ department at Grossmont College. I will be entering my 5th year here at Grossmont in the fall. So Canvas-wise, I started piloting Canvas in the fall, going through the same course that I'm about to facilitate with you. And spring 17, all my offerings were done through Canvas. So I've had really positive experiences with it so far, and hope I can impart some knowledge and we can all learn from each other, because there's probably a few tips and tricks out there that I haven't even found yet. So looking forward to working with you over the next 6 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you, Michael. All right. So to give an idea on how this orientation works, right now I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone in the course. And they don't have mute there. So let me make sure that that's set up correctly. Michael, can you say something?
I can say a lot of things. I'll be blabbing for the next hour and a half.
I just want to make sure you weren't muted, because I just muted. Okay. So now that's there. Now, before we get going, the way it's going to work, everybody is currently muted at the moment other than Michael and myself. If you have any questions regarding anything that Michael is covering about the course or Canvas in general, I would like for you to enter it into the Zoom chat. So right now I'm going to type something in the Zoom chat. It's going to be a question. It's going to be a yes or no question. Please reply to that question, and then we can get started. Do you see this message? Everyone can reply to that chat message. That would be awesome. Perfect. Awesome. Seems like we're good to go. All right, I am going to make Mr. Stewart the host, and he is going to run the show for the next 90 minutes. You should have control, sir.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you again for attending this orientation. We will be getting to know each other over the next 6 weeks. So I'm working off an outline, so forgive me as my eyes dip down or look to the left, because I'm just looking at my screen to make sure we get through all the points that we need to know. And I'm going to go ahead and do a share screen so you can see where I'm headed, what URLs we're using. As Chris already mentioned, please use that chat if you have questions as we're rolling along. And Chris is going to kind of try to handle some of those questions. And then at the end, we'll go ahead and unmute everybody, and we'll, answer some questions as needed. So first things first is I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, where's this at? I should, oh, there we go. And I'm gonna share this one. Okay, so at this point, everybody should see Canvas. So we're gonna start by looking at some of the basics of Canvas, how to get into Canvas and how to navigate around. Then we're gonna kind of hone in on some details of this course, Intro to Teaching with Canvas, and what the expectations are for you. As I tell students during a semester length course, during that first day, first hour with them, I don't want there to be any surprises as we move along. So we're going to kind of overemphasize some points to make sure that we're all understanding. One, it is going to be kind of a time commitment. We are going to roll into the beginning of the fall semester. And I think this is a really good way, though, for us to take advantage of some time we may not otherwise commit to getting our courses prepped and ready to go in Canvas. So at the end, we'll just get to the punchline. In 6 weeks, the goal is for you to have like 2 complete units, or what we refer to as modules, in Canvas completed, ready to go, ready to deploy out to our students. So here we start. I am in the Canvas logon for the district, and I'm going to kind of bounce back, and just because it's kind of tricky. So I'm going back to our college homepage, and I'm going to go over here. As you look at the top bar, you can see on the kind of the right hand side there is an icon for Canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that, because here's the deal. As of today, there are no links to Canvas through this icon. So some people think, oh, I'll click onto that like we used to be able to do with Blackboard, and we could kind of navigate to Blackboard. But here with Canvas, we're not doing that quite yet. So instead, what we need to know is the URL to get into Canvas with the college district instance of Canvas. So looking at my URL on the top there, this is how we get there. And once you do it, the first time, please think about making maybe a bookmark or some sort of marker on your web browser so you can always come back to it. And then, of course, if we forget, just go ahead and you can email me and I'll get you back there. But it's gccd.instructure.com, and then you can see the slashes, logon, and then another slash, Canvas. And from here, it populates to hopefully some familiar, prompts. So the first thing is our Web Advisor username. So whatever we're using for Web Advisor. And then secondly, our password. So it's an 8-digit birth date. And the nice thing with this is it's the same for everybody. It's going to be the same with our students as well as ourselves. As of today, we cannot change our passwords. It will always, until someone says otherwise, it'll always be this 8-digit password. So please make sure we're using that. Go ahead.
Once we get into the course, you can actually change that, and I can show you how to do that.
Well, here we go. We're already learning from each other, so that's really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And here's a little sneak peek of what you should, something kind of like what you should see. I don't have a lot of my classes populated for the fall. They're kind of hiding somewhere else, so I need to pull them up there. But when we open Canvas, we land on our dashboard. Okay, so this is think of the universal homepage for Canvas is our dashboard. And each of our classes we call cards. Okay, so when we're looking at it this way, these are all different cards, class cards. So think of like index cards. So you could see I picked up a adjunct course for fall 17 in political science. So here's an offering. And then in this middle one is a development container that Chris created for me in the spring. I was working on a little project. And then over here, we should all find our GC5 Introduction to Teaching with Canvas. Somewhere on our dashboard, we should have this available to us. Okay, so this is kind of like where we're always gonna land. All right, I'm gonna open it up and just kind of hold tight, hold steady there for a minute. Okay, and that's where all of our work's going to be done. So hopefully all of us have been able to, at least get the concept, okay, this is how I'm going to access Canvas. All right, now, kind of to mucky up the waters a little bit, we're all going to set up a development course or container outside of the college instance of the course. And that's what we're going to refer to as our sandbox. So to get to our sandbox, we're going to go to a completely different URL.
No.
Oops. Go ahead.
So go back to your dashboard.
Yep.
Go back to your the Canvas dashboard.
Yep.
All right. So all for every single student in the actual course, I created a Canvas training sandbox. So if you click on, and you're enrolled in every single one. So Michael, if you click on your courses link,
down at the bottom. Yeah.
No, in the global navigation, if you click on the courses link.
Yep.
So
let's see.
So dashboard is the one with the little speedometer. Right under that is courses.
Okay. So we have it all. Okay.
So
okay.
refer to the purple. Refer to the purple bar.
Yep.
Do you see where the dashboard now? Right under. Click on the book right under that.
Yes. Yes. All courses. Yes. And that's what I have to do. Okay. Yes. Here
so
we
you
are.
See, these are all the training courses for all of the instructors that are enrolled in this course. So Joanne Parcioli, sorry, Joanne, I butchered the last name. Anyways, your training course is right there. So when you go into Canvas and you can go into courses, all courses, if you don't see it there, you can click the star right next to any one of the other courses, and then that will appear in your dashboard.
So I'm clicking, as Chris mentioned, on the left-hand side of the screen. This is for me to see things kind of like a different view than most of you will have. But here I'm clicking on these, and then I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and these classes will now populate. So times have changed. We're not going to instructor's site anymore to create sandboxes. So this is easier. This is great. Off to a good start, making things easier. So you, on your dashboard, you should have two options here. You should have your GC5, and then you should have your GC Canvas training sandbox. And this, in your sandbox, all the assignments that we ask you to do, all the assignments we ask you to do are going to end up in your GC Canvas training. That's where you'll do all your work. The great thing about this is any work you do inside of your training sandbox, it will migrate into a regular course that you are going to have available for students in the fall or the spring, or for perpetuity, for however long you need it. So this is where you're going to do all your work, is in your training sandbox. Okay, so we should all have those there. If we don't have them, make sure you get in touch with Chris, and he'll set it up. And then again, we have our intro to Canvas. So, okay, so how do we get into our training course? We go to the card, the class card, GC5, Introduction to Teaching with Canvas. This is like where the meat and potatoes are. All the instructions for the course, our discussions with each other will be done here. Announcements, and parenthetically, you probably already got an announcement today, an email saying, hey, we have some work due. Well, we all know that's not true. There's no work due today. I made a mistake, and I apologize for that. So disregard if you received an email talking about Unit 2 work being done. I apologize. Okay, so here we are. And this is our GC5. Now, when the fall, or once we complete this course and you've been, anointed, if you will, to teach in Canvas, your course offerings will populate in Canvas just as they did in Blackboard. So realistically, probably thinking about like spring, that's when your courses will just show up. You'll log into Canvas, and one day, you're going to have all your sections for spring 18. They'll be here available for you. And that's just how it's going to work. Sooner than later, specifically, January 29th, the district doesn't want us to be in Blackboard anymore. Matter of fact, they're saying no more Blackboard after January 29, 2018. So just kind of keep that date in the back of your mind. Okay, so here we are in the class, and we now know how, moving forward after we complete this class, how will the courses show up? Your department chair, maybe that's you, you send your line sheets in, and then, operations, Raina and the crew work their magic, and then all of a sudden it's just, hey, here's the class ready to go, okay? Now, let's talk about inside of this course, some navigation issues. How do we kind of get around? So on the very far left, where Chris already directed me in this global navigation-ish area where you see the college district logo, um, are some things that will get us all through Canvas. At the top, this is information specific to you, so account information. As we move forward, consider putting a profile picture of yourself so everybody knows who you are, and we could say hi to each other as we walk around campus. And then from here, we have different areas. Profile issue. Talks a little bit about myself, just a quick bio. There are some drawbacks in the bio section, like, for example, you can't do a direct link to your email or something like that. That Canvas hasn't quite figured out how to do that, although you'll see at the bottom of my screen, there is an area for links, and it's kind of like a backdoor way to say, hey, contact me via Canvas's own email tool, which we're going to talk about in a little bit because that's how we want to communicate during the course. Kind of skipping back to the top, notifications. Now this is huge right here, and I'm going to really ask you to, after we're done with our orientation today, hopefully you'll have some time to kind of poke around inside the course, but notifications, set your notifications to make it easier for you. And what are we talking about here? You can have Canvas notify you of due dates being available. You could say, if I make a change as the instructor in Canvas, you can ask Canvas to send you a notification immediately about that change. So it'll pop up to your mobile phone, your tablet, email, whatever it is you want to do. And there is a way you could do it through text messaging. So that's kind of a neat feature. You could do daily summaries, weekly summaries, or don't send things at all. But it's vital just to get those reminders about due dates, showing up, announcements. That's what happened today. One of our colleagues has already set up some an announcement notification preference, and he got the announcement sent to him, and within minutes, he had sent me an email. Hey, what's going on? Well, I'm guessing he set up his notification preferences to let him know what's going on. So I would strongly encourage you to get in here and set your notification preferences today. This is something I ask students to do immediately upon the course being deployed to them. Set these notification preferences. It's really helpful to get these messages. Going down on my own profile or my own account, we have files. And these are just all the files I drop into the course. So it could be like photos, like my profile pictures dropped in here. If we're doing attachments like PDFs or Word documents, you have some readings you want your students doing. It's just a repository of all those files. So you can find them. This is just one way to find them. There are other ways. Let's see here. We went to settings, just, what's your name, some information about you. Kind of nice down here. As I scroll down, you could see Canvas is linked into Twitter and other social media medium. So you can, if you have a Twitter profile or something you want your students to have access to, that's another thing you could do as well, okay? Let's see, and then ePortfolio. I haven't used this yet, but it's a great way for students to use the ePortfolio. I think in some history classes, it's your work for journaling is popular in ePortfolioing. So it's just another means to have students submit assignments to you. And as you can see here, just how to profile some highlights during the semester, during their work. Okay, so moving down our global navigation on the far left, we have that dashboard. So you could click on that and it'll just take us back right to where we were. Just a quick look at the courses. Just the coloring, you see there's like a shaded purple, on mine it's pink. I'd call this teal, green, gray, and mustard yellow. You could change the colors if you'd like. It's kind of a more advanced thing. And what I've done, and on the side we could talk about this, not part of the class, but you can put words onto your cards to make it a little easier to find. As the semester rolls forward, I'll have 6 courses up here for the fall. I'll go ahead and put names inside of each of those. And in a small pitch during professional development week, I will be doing a course on how to create some graphics for Canvas. So just a fun thing to know how to do. Continuing down, courses. This is a list of all the courses that you have in your profile, or excuse me, on your dashboard. So it's just another way to access them. And then as Chris mentioned, you could click on all courses and you could let Canvas know, hey, what courses do I want to show up on my dashboard? And you could see here's all my fall offerings going just top to bottom. I haven't plugged them in quite yet, but I'll go through there and click on these stars, okay? And you can see I'll go straight back to my dashboard and they should show up. So you can see I just added those courses, okay? Calendar. This is a universal calendar for every course that you have on your dashboard. So any assignment that has a due date or something called an event that you can create will show up on this calendar. Now, what we need to remember is looking on the right here, you can let it know, hey, what things do I want to see on my calendar? So I don't have a lot in my fall courses right now, but if I click on one of these boxes, it will then populate assignments and events that need to be shown in the calendar. So just another great tool to focus and pay attention on what's going on. Now you could see all I have populated right now is our course, GC5. So if you look at 8 a.m. on the 17th, this course showed up, Unit 0 showed up. And then if you look here at 1 p.m., this was our orientation. And if you look forward to the 21st, we can see already at the end of the week, we're going to have some work due. So it's a great way to keep track of what's going on. It is printable, so you can print it out if you need to, and it has different views. So we have our week view, our month view, and then an agenda view. So different ways for you to look at it. Okay. Continuing back on the left, our global navigation. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting an email from Anita. She's trying to figure out where we're at. So I think Chris was maybe helping her. But here you could see this is our conversations inbox. And this is the way we're going to communicate through the course. So this is a great tool besides using our Outlook email that the college provides. I have pretty much migrated over to just using the conversations inbox exclusively for student communication. We shouldn't run into an issue where we're getting overloaded with emails. You lose them, or the server just can't handle them anymore. Everything stays in Canvas, and you can set a notification in Canvas to receive these emails or conversations as soon as they come to you through Canvas. So you could respond as quickly, whatever your communication policy is. So again, we will communicate through the conversations inbox. The way you start a message is through this little flower. It's like a falling leaf. Compose a new message. The nice thing is you could select what class you're going to send a message to. Okay, and then who specifically in the course do we want to talk to? Do we want to talk to all, just the teachers, or just the students? And then subject. So this is a great tool for us. And again, this is how we're going to communicate during this course, trying to stay out of our college district email for the course. All these messages are private, by the way, through the conversation, unless you say send it to all my peers. But if you're just sending one to myself or to Chris exclusively, it just comes to Chris or I, and no one else will see these messages. All right. Okay, the commons are kind of more advanced as we move through the course. And as you get ready it's, as it says here, it's just a great way to find and share ideas. So those who have created Canvas courses before us, you can license your course to be have a commons license where anybody could use it for any reason, well, usually educational. And you just type in your discipline in the search function, and the sky's the limit. There is so much information in these commons. So I'd encourage you to take some time just to scroll through there. And then lastly, the help icon on the left of our global navigation, little question mark. This Canvas has some great help features, okay? Some great help features. So you can, we're going to just go right over there to the Canvas guides. I had already had it open on another tab, but I'm going to just go where they're at. And here, they have everything, any question you have, chances are it can be answered through going through a Canvas guide. Now, it's important to know a couple things when we're talking about help and guidance. There is going to be no on-campus support for students for Canvas, okay? So the way our students get help for Canvas is they call Canvas's 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week helpline. Okay, so again, there is no on-campus or in-district support for students using Canvas. Now, I had a couple issues with students in Canvas, and I sent them to the 24/7 help, and the Canvas was very, very helpful. Students did not complain about, like going to the California DMV and waiting for 3 hours. They got exactly what they needed, and problems were solved. So as we move through the course, we have some tools and tips and resources we can give to our students, like, hey, where do you go to get help? So I'm going to just recite the number, but the 24/7 support line for students and us, faculty. Okay, so Chris, I know he likes waking up at 2 a.m. to our calls. Wait a minute, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. Okay, but it's a toll free. It's 1-844-600-4953. In my courses, I have that number available for students. Hey, if you have an issue, like as simple as logging on, call Canvas first. We had some log-on issues during courses that I had been teaching, and come to find out, one of the issues, one of Canvas's servers had gone down. So it was, in fact, a Canvas issue. It wasn't a district issue. So, we kind of start way up high at Canvas, and then, they create a help ticket, and things kind of funnel down. If they decide at Canvas, okay, this isn't our issue, as I understand it, and Chris could tell you later, but it sounds like we have a really, really good working relationship with them, where if something doesn't seem like it's, oh, this isn't a Canvas issue, it might be a district issue or college issue, everyone's talking to each other, so things get resolved fairly quickly. So again, the 24/7 support line that you can use during this course as well is 1-844-600-4953. And that's where we're going to send everybody for help, okay?
Real quickly, Michael, if you could go back to the course.
Yes, I can. Okay.
If you click on the call for help link, that you can click on that link, and it has the number for Grossmont and Cuyamaca as well. So the Grossmont number is right on the screen there. It's located in the help, and then you can click on the call for help link to access that number as well.
So again, from the left on our global navigation, question mark with a circle, and then we have this call for help option, and it takes us to our a district page, and here's 24/7 help. So this is a great link to insert into your courses to let your students know, hey, this is where you're going to go for help, okay? So again, our Canvas guides, again, we're not going to dig too deep into this because we have some other things to look at, but you can look at the Canvas guide, and it's, are you an instructor? Are you a student? And then I'm just going to show you how robust this is. Are you having an issue with announcements, attendance, or do you want to learn how to set something up? These are great resources. I remember using Blackboard. I would just end up Googling, like, how do I do something in Blackboard? And, you get resources from everywhere. This is a very direct resource for us to use, and I'd strongly encourage you to look through there. Okay, so I'm closing some of my tabs and we're going back to the course. So global navigation, how to navigate around. And I'm going to go back to our course through our dashboard, back to GC5. And here we are. So the view, how are we on questions right now with the chat, Chris? Anything coming up that I need to go back over?
No, we're doing good.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about our course, GC5. We have 6 weeks we're going to spend together. I am really excited about it. Canvas is, it's really cool. It's really easy, I think, to use. I know students, I did just an informal surveying with students. They preferred it to Blackboard. I think we all know, every single community college in the state of California is going to this, to Canvas. Anecdotally, last week I was in Mammoth. I have a cousin that lives there, and she has a 15-year-old daughter who's taking courses at her high school. And one of the classes in an online class, and they're using Canvas. She knew all about it, so I was asking her. So it sounds like some of the high schools are starting to use it as well. So it's not this foreign and remote system that no one knows about. It's something that they're really, really familiar with. Okay, so again, the district is telling us everyone's going to be off of Blackboard by January 29th, 2018. Okay, January 29th, 2018, Blackboard is no longer. And not in a way, I don't think, where you may be able to grab a couple pieces of information out of it, but we're not teaching it anymore after January 29th. So the next 6 weeks will probably be a little more demanding than we'd prefer. We're going to spend some time getting through this. But here's the thing, if we can't make it through this 6-week round of courses, the next offering won't be until deep into September. So then you're just like right in the heat of the fall semester. And, my preference, I wouldn't want to be in that spot. I mean, I think it would just make it really challenging for me to manage my courses and then to be doing this extra needed task on top of that. So next 6 weeks, we're going to be busy, and I'll talk about time commitment or anticipated time commitment in a minute. But just know you're going to be busy, okay? So at the end, again, the end goal at the end of this course, which is August 25th is our last Friday that we'll meet. August 25th is a Friday. That's our last Friday. You're going to submit a final project. And what that includes is to build 2 modules. And modules is kind of like a Canvas specific language, and we'll kind of clean that up at the end. But it's submitting 2 modules to us that you will use in your semester length courses. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, again, this is a great 6 weeks just to let's get this done, kind of looking in the rearview mirror and have it ready to go. So when you're ready to launch into Canvas, you have 2 weeks or 2 modules. A module can be weekly or it could be another way. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's just have it done. So I have been directed by my bosses at our instructional design group to, if we don't think this is relevant to the course, we're going to ask you to redo it. And I think we're doing you a favor because, again, why reinvent the wheel? Let's just do something that's relevant to us. Let's save ourselves some time and get the work done. So you're going to submit 2 modules that you will use in a course on, and it'll be due by August 25th. And as we go through the 6 weeks, we're doing building blocks. So we're just taking baby steps. And at the end, you're going to look back and oh yeah, it's all there. So each assignment will kind of build onto each other. And hopefully the goal is each assignment helps you develop your respective modules. So again, we're not asking you to duplicate work. The work should already be done when we get to the end, and you just kind of have to put the package together for us and put the little bow tie on top. Okay. So that's the goal in the end, the final project. Now, what is the anticipated time commitment? How much time should you expect to invest to Canvas, into this course each week? We're guesstimating 5 to 8 hours, depending on your technical abilities, your tech savvy skills. And that doesn't include our weekend meetings, which last about, I think they're scheduled for about an hour and a half each Friday. Yeah, they're from 10 to 11:30. So figure, on average about 10 hours a week. That hopefully at the top end, about 10 hours a week that you're going to spend developing the final assignment, the 2 modules that you need to submit. Now, again, I don't like to reinvent the wheel, so what I found myself doing, and just a little tip, is let's start thinking about what do we have in Blackboard that maybe we can use in Canvas. If you have a solid product already, we're just going to kind of like move some pieces of the puzzle around to make them fit into Canvas, but we're not going to let's use what we already have and develop it, maybe clean it up a little bit, polish it off, and then bring it over to Canvas. And I think that'll help with some time management stuff. Okay. Now, again, just emphasizing, if you cannot make it through the 6 weeks, this is not just not going to be a good fit for you these 6 weeks. The next offering will be like right in the middle of the fall semester, so it's probably going to be a little more challenging than just assuming that you have a teaching load that you're working with as well. Okay. All right, so moving on, what's our kind of like our weekly calendar look like? Well, I'm going to go back using the left global navigation bar. We're going to go back into our calendar, and we're going to kind of look at what do we have going on? Like how does a week look like in the course? And I have the agenda view open, but I'm going to go back to the month view. And we could see, okay, this is what we have going on. So here we are today on the left side of the screen, Monday the 17th, and you could see, okay, 8 a.m. the course opened up for us to view, and then right now we're in orientation. Well, let's skip forward to Friday the 21st, okay? And you will see we're in unit 0 right now. We have like a pre-unit, and Friday by 11:59 p.m., so just shy of midnight, we need to have our introductions done through our discussion, and we need to have a course outline completed and submitted. Now, you could look here Friday, the 21st, at first thing, we're going to have some overlap because Unit 1 will open up for us. And inside of Unit 1, there's 4 or 5 different assignments and discussions that we're going to need to work on. So I have a 10-year-old boy, and I'm married, and I have 6 chickens, and we have 2 dogs, and we have a pretty active summer life. So what I like to do when I was taking these courses is, like wake up ridiculously early on the weekend mornings and just get through the necessary work, and then just kind of take a deep breath and then come back to it maybe later in the week so we could communicate with each other. But whatever strategy is going to work for you, just know, hey, we're opening, generally everything's going to open up early on Friday, and then it's going to be due the following Friday. So you have about 7 full days to get this work done, a little more actually. So that's kind of what the week will look like. And you could go into your own calendar through Canvas, and you could see, okay, again, everything that we need to know about is there and available for us, okay? All right, now we're going to talk about late work. I'm sure we get questions on our courses, right, when we're teaching, hey, can I turn in an assignment late? And generally I give them a quick, yes, of course you can, and then I give them the big but you may not receive credit. So what we're doing in Introduction to Canvas here is if you turn in an assignment late, we're not going to allow point accumulation for that assignment. So if you turn in a late assignment, you cannot receive point accumulation. So we're still gonna look at it and grade it and give you feedback and hopefully help you develop your final assignment and get ready to use Canvas, but you just can't receive credit for that. Additionally, kind of a neat feature with Canvas is we can put prerequisites on units. So if you do not complete Unit 0, for example, you cannot start Unit 1. Okay, so again, a prerequisite to starting Unit 1 is you must complete the required assignments or discussions or quizzes in the previous unit. So you could kind of see where this is headed. Like if you're turning in late work, then you can't even get into the next unit because the work's not done, and it just, maybe it'll start to snowball and just become a little bit more cumbersome than we wanted. So again, if you turn in work late, you can't get points, but you can't even get into the next unit until you turn in that work, okay? So that's how we're doing that. Okay, now similar again to our courses with our students, if there is a period where you're not submitting work for 2 weeks, so 2 weeks of inactivity, then we're going to go ahead and drop you from the course and ask you to come back, at a later offering. So 2 weeks of inactivity will result in dropping from the course, okay? Now, what is required to pass the course in terms of a raw number? What are we looking at? Okay, so 80% or above is passing. 80% or above is passing. And when you pass, so after August 25th, you'll receive a certificate of completion as well as 20 hours of professional development credit. So 80% gets you a certificate of completion and 20 hours of professional development credit that can be applied to fall 2017. All right. All right. How are we? I'm going to just poke over in the chat real quick and see what we got going on. Okay, we're good. Anything,
yeah, the one question was talking about the units, and because there was a mistake in advertising, because the way it was originally advertised was a 4-week course when it's actually a 6-week course.
Yes, yes.
So we have a couple of instructors who want to kind of maybe potentially work ahead. So maybe after we get done with this orientation, you and I can talk privately on how maybe we can remove the 8 a.m. restriction and figure out a way to make it fair for those instructors who want to work ahead.
Okay.
Possibility, and that was there were some questions as far as when the next unit was going to be made available and working ahead.
All right, good. Okay, well, folks, we're going to go back into our course now, and let's take a look at how we're going to get rolling. So I'm using my, this time I'm going to use my courses icon, and I'm just clicking on it once, and I'm going to find our course, GC5, and I'm going to open it up. Okay, so let's first kind of look at what do we have here when we open up our course. And you see our global navigation, okay, and then we have our course navigation menu. And you could see on my screen, I'm in the instructor view. There is a student view, but I'm in the instructor view right now. All you should see in your student view are the headings that are kind of emboldened. So on your view, you should see home, announcements, syllabus, modules, grades, people, and settings. And just kind of looking forward, we're encouraging you to only allow your students to see kind of the same things. We don't want to overwhelm them, and there's really, you'll see as we move forward, there's really no need to give them all the kind of the lightened options, because there's other ways they can get there that might be a little more obvious. So again, you see on the left, you just have home, announcements, syllabus, modules, grades, people, and settings. Now here in the center, this is our home page, okay? And the nice thing is, as we move forward, you'll learn how to create your own home page. There's five options that Canvas allows us to use, and depending again how tech savvy you are, the sky's the limit. But we found, just kind of, let's keep it simple. Just let the students know, hey, where are you and where do you need to go, and let's move forward. So you can see at the top here, we have our title, and then moving in is this graphic, introduction to teaching with Canvas. And then right below here, starting with in green, we have some buttons. And again, gratuitous plug, during a professional development week, I'm going to teach you how to make these buttons. So if you want to come and check it out, it's pretty neat. So they're just links. You click on it, and it's going to take you to the announcement page. Click on the syllabus one, go into the syllabus page. Modules, that'll get us into our units, and then discussions. How do we get there? Now, what I like about what we're doing in this course is, I think it's pretty obvious. Where do we start in the class? Yeah, we ask ourselves, scratch our head, where do we start? How about start here? That's where we're going to start. And the way the class is set up, our class, it's kind of just sequential. You just start moving through unit to unit, and I'm going to go ahead and get us there. Actually, I'm going to go over, let me move some stuff around on my screen, and I'm going to go to your view. So here.
Go into settings.
Settings, yep, go through settings, and then go to student view, so you can see what I'm going to see. And here we are. This is what you should be seeing. Okay, and let's start here where we're being asked to start. Now on the left here, we still have our global navigation bar. We cannot get rid of that, but we can get rid of the course navigation bar just by clicking on at the top left. You see there's 3 horizontal lines. You just click on those, give you a little more screen. And right here, unit 0.1, kind of Chris is chaptering the pages, which is a really nice feature. Why? When a student calls us and says, hey, professor, I can't find something. Well, where are you at? I'm at the da-da-da page. Well, how about you just give me that number, 0.1? Oh, makes it a lot easier. I know I'm at the welcome page. But here's where we start on our start here. Watch the 11-minute video. And we're asking, hey, watch the 11-minute video. It's really going to help you out, and it's going to answer some questions for you, okay? So once you watch that 11-minute video, you just continue to scroll down. And, it's really important that you read everything rather than just skimming over it. And it's kind of going back over some of the things we just talked about. What are the expectations? How much time can I plan to spend on the course? And then what does the syllabus look like? We're going to click on that in a minute. And then over here on the right, bottom right of my screen, you could see, oh, look, next button. So that's where I'm going to go next in the course. Makes it really easy for us. So kind of like what the course is asking us to do, let's go ahead and peek at the syllabus, because I think you're in for a surprise. Okay. So what are we used to as a syllabus, right? My syllabus is a 5-page document. It's a Word or PDF document that I hand out to students, stapled top left corner. Canvas, this is where we get into some of our jargon and vernacular, and just the words kind of maybe don't line up to what we're used to, but this is like the new normal, right? So a syllabus in Canvas, think of it more actually as like as a calendar or a course summary. Now at the top, up here, you see it says course syllabus in bolded in a large heading. I think that's a heading 3 in green, and it tells you, okay, here's a little more about the actual course syllabus, that 5-pager that I mentioned. That's how we can kind of get to that. But it also tells us some important things. What is our communication policy? How to get a hold of us? And for us, we have 2 options in this course, right? We have our Q&A form, and that's global. So anybody in the course is going to see what you put in the Q&A form, and sometimes that's really helpful. I'm going to do my best to be very attentive to all of your needs, but some things might slip through the cracks. Now, one of your peers, one of our colleagues, may know the answer to something you put in the discussion forum, and they could answer that question for you. Now, if you have a private message, something personal in nature, or you're just not comfortable using the Q&A form, you could send us a message through the conversation inbox. That, again, is Canvas's mailbox, okay? Now, the other nice thing that we've done in the course is watch the video tutorial on how to use the conversation tool. Canvas has a very robust video library, and they are very quick, like 2 to 3 minute videos, and very helpful. I give them to my students. We're encouraging all faculty, give students these links and just make it really easy for them. Okay, now going back to the syllabus, view or download the course syllabus, which you can see right below here, this link about mid-page. That's where our students are headed. This is that 5-page document that I talked about. The one, probably has the college course outline on it and some other calendar issues, but view or download it. Please take time to look over it, and it'll tell you a lot more about what's needed in the course. Now, if I continue to scroll down in the Canvas syllabus page, you'll see what Canvas intended a syllabus to be, which is a course summary. It's just another way to look at a calendar as far as I'm concerned. What I did, I've taken 6 classes in Canvas, like how to use Canvas, how to assess courses in Canvas. And what I always found myself doing, I'd never taken an online course before, and I couldn't use the digital calendar. So I just printed out this course summary, and I just, I put it inside like a manila envelope or a folder, and I would just check things off as I went through, and then I'd transpose them to my paper calendar. So I think this is a really nice way to see, okay, from start to finish, what are we looking at through the course? You can see on the far left, this is the date that it's out there. And then on the right, when it's happening. So on the left, you have date, today, the orientation's available, and our orientation's happening. And on the right, you have, okay, one starts at 8 a.m., one starts at 1 p.m. And then you just scroll through, and then you go all the way, right, down to the bottom. Here we are, take that collective sigh of relief, August 25th, we're done, right? And you can see it all at the bottom, okay? So we jumped out of our start here block by going to the syllabus. So I'm gonna go back to start here by going back to our homepage, okay? And again, I'm on my left course navigation bar, and I'm gonna go back into start here. And we watched our video, and then as I scroll down, bottom right, next, what do we do next, okay? This is Meet the Facilitators, which it's not open quite yet. It'll be open.
There's a reason. Let's go back. Click on the previous button, Michael.
Because we didn't complete everything, or check here.
Scroll down at the very bottom.
Yep.
So the one thing here is at the very bottom, you'll see, notice in red that says before you go, there is a mark as done button located in the top right-hand corner of the page.
Yeah.
Make sure you click that button.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we are. So I scroll back to the top right, and here it is, folks. This is, another advantage of Canvas over what I think with Blackboard is there's so many things in place that can just be these little cues for our students. Wait, what am I doing wrong? And it forces them to kind of look around a little bit. So we're going to click, oh, yep, all done. And we're going to just march forward, scrolling back to the bottom, clicking on our next button. So again, meet your facilitators. There I am out in Mount Laguna. Here's Chris, much more handsome than I ever will be. And then again, bottom right, you can learn about us. And that's how we just continue to get through our Unit 0, our orientation, telling us about our weekly Zoom meetings. Here's a snapshot of when our meetings are. I will be sending out emailed announcement reminders to let you know, and then also to give you that URL for how to get into Zoom, okay? Again, another parenthetical comment, if you haven't done so already, as a California Community College faculty member, you can get your own Zoom Pro account, so that's something to think about moving forward. Really nice way to meet up with your students in a virtual type realm, kind of like a Skype alternative. Now I went ahead and I clicked next to talk about notifications. Remember, we talked about that right at the beginning, notifications. So this is a great way to alert you whether, maybe you don't want it to your phone. Like for me, moving forward into the fall, there's absolutely no way I would push these notifications to my phone from my students. Probably a lot of you, I'll be doing teaching 5 or 6 sections in the fall, and that would just be like, oh, my head would explode. But there's certain things I kind of want to know about. For example, that Q&A form, it might be nice to know pretty quickly when something's popping up in that Q&A form, so at least you can think about responding to it with our students, so they think, oh yeah, the professor's paying attention and abiding by their timelines. But again, on the top right, we got to click mark as done to even get out of this page. Okay, so let's see here. Let's keep on scrolling through, and we're going to look at our first two assignments now, our discussion and our course outline. So we come to our first kind of required piece of work, and you will see, I'm going to kind of enhance this screen a little bit, but you will see starting at the top left, well, actually, let's go to the top right, the little gear icon, okay? And I'm going to drop down, and you can see two things. One is a mark all as read, but more importantly is the rubric. Everything we do in this course, it has a rubric attached to it. And again, no surprises, right? Super fair, just lets everybody know, hey, these are what the expectations are. So I'm going to start here by looking at the rubric. And this is a pretty simple rubric, right? But it tells us what we need. So here's the thing. Our criteria, either we post a discussion that meets the elements, or either we don't do it or it does not meet the elements. So it's kind of like an all or nothing here. And in this course, you know, we have it set up where success is the kind of like the bottom line. So, you know, if there's something we want improved or worked on, we're going to ask you to redo it and just resubmit it for full credit, okay? So, you know, but here, you know, through the rubric what the requirements are. And then as we go through, you could see a title, what is expected, 0.5. You know, this is our discussion, first discussion, introductions. Initial post is due by 11:59 this Friday. And then some replies that we need back, so engaging in a dialogue with each other, are due Sunday, so 2 days after, by 11:59. And as we read down, you could see the instructions for this, okay? We want you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are, two things that are true, or 3 statements, 2 that are true, 1 that's false, okay? And then tell us why you're taking the course. Now, another, just like a little tip, if you're not doing it already, as we get into our discussions and other assignments, I'm going to encourage you to create a Word document or some other type of document, Google Doc, whatever, you know, art, you know, whatever you use as a word processing tool. Set it up on the side and do all of your work there, and then bring it over back into Canvas. I have found in the past, sometimes, you know, you type something up, you hit the submit button, and it disappears. Well, if we have it in that Word document, there it is. And then also, it's a nice way, we just scroll up in our Word document to see, okay, this is the work I did before, and it's kind of like a running total of what we're doing. Additionally, we have had issues with server issues where work evaporates. So just again, a tip, set up a Word document for the course and just keep like a running total of what you're doing, okay? So once you submit your initial reply with 3 statements about you, 1 that is false, we want you to go back and kind of try to communicate with your students by finding out and guessing, hey, that's not true about you. So I kind of like told you a lot about me already, so I'm really going to have to think about how I'm going to deceive you, so you'll never figure out what the false statement is. Now, how do we post in Canvas? Well, one option is here. You could click on the reply box, and then as we scroll down, there's another button that says reply, and I'm just going to click on it, and you could see from here a similar to a word processing tool opens up for us. It's a rich content editor, and you can go in and you could, hi everyone, I'm not a great typer, so forgive me, but you know, click, 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 you know, blah, 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 tell about yourself. And then on the bottom right, when you're ready to go, hit post reply. Okay, you can see on the bottom right here, there's a blue colored button, post reply. All right. All right, so that's the first requirement to get us to the end of the week, and I'm just going to cancel out. And since I didn't do it, oh geez, let me hit all is red. Oh, wait. So since I didn't post, it's not going to let me, here, let me do a quick one. So I
Yeah,
could
you
get
have
in.
to post something so you can go to the next one.
Yeah. So let me just do a test. Oh, where, little technical issue here. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, you thought I was joking when I said I don't type well. All right. Okay, so from there, I'm going to hit post reply. And I'm a test student posting. And now I can get out of here into my next. Oh, here's another thing I just want to talk about really quickly. You could see here on the right side of the screen, we just got this check mark subscribed. So once you post into a discussion in Canvas and you get this subscribed button, that will set up an automatic notification that you will get an email or a text message, however you set up your notifications, you're going to get messaged about other, excuse me, your colleagues posting. Unless you want, maybe you want them all the time, but for now I'm going to go ahead and unsubscribe by clicking on it. So if I click on it, subscribe, you know, when it's not green, that means I will not be getting the messages, and I'm just going to leave it like that for now as I move forward. Okay. Hold on, I got a toolbar down here in my way. All right, getting out of there. Okay, moving through our orientation module, there's just some information about if you've never participated in an online course, here's some great resources. I give these to my students. Second link down is this online student readiness tutorials. It's provided by the State Chancellor's Office. Just some great resources. You know, students, I think a majority of students probably believe that online courses are easier than a face-to-face course, and that is not the case. So they
I'll
need
be
to
right
know
back.
that. Yeah. So you could scroll down and see, hey, using Netiquette, you know, what are we looking for here? I need to go back to the top and say I did it, and then I'm moving forward. Okay, so our first assignment, so we had a discussion, and then also due this week, okay, also due this week by Friday is our first assignment, and that's a course outline. We want you to create a course outline. So this is going to be kind of like your shell for maybe what you should be doing as our final assignment. So this will show us all of the details within 2 modules of what's expected in the course, okay? So for example, a first module in this course is our unit, we call it unit 0. Okay, so a module, different ways to look at modules. A module is, think of it like as a repository or like a tank for a bunch of other little items. So it could be like your refrigerator. The module is your refrigerator, and inside of the refrigerator, you have different ingredients or different things you need to move forward. So what could be inside your module? There's usually a discussion, maybe there's an opener that you use to introduce concepts or topics. You could put inside of a module, you would put like a test or a quiz maybe. You would put like a writing assignment or different assignments inside of modules. So there's different ways you can build your modules. A common way to build a module is chronologically or weekly. So, you know, here at Grossmont, we have like 16 weeks. There's some folks who have 16 modules. Currently, I operate my courses, my online courses, I deploy them in that format. So each module represents 7 days of instruction. And we could look at some of my courses a little bit later, but that's not the only way to do it. So maybe you know, if you're working in a discipline like a history or English, biology, whatever your discipline is, there may be a better way to kind of build your modules. So in a class I was taking recently, it was a women's studies professor was teaching the course, and she had, I think she had 4 modules for an 18-week course. And within each module, you know, she would just kind of work through sequentially with some prerequisites that we spoke about on how to get through the module. And then at the end of each module, which was what, each one was about 4 weeks, she would have, you know, maybe a module test or something of that nature. So module is a term that Canvas uses to kind of house information, and how you house it, well, it's up to you. I mean, you know your material and what would make sense. Again, common ways are through either weeks, so chronological, or through content, so common themes or topics that you can use during the course, okay? So, but what we want you to do is submit an assignment that lets us look at, okay, what are the first modules that you will introduce into the course? And again, we're looking forward. What are the ones that we're going to see at your final project? So think about it a little bit, you know, what's important to you. And each thing I'm just going to kind of highlight in blue. When you submit this assignment, which will most likely be in a Word document, you need to include, okay, what's the title of the module? And right below here, I'm just going to scroll down, we have this. We have an example, Unit 0, Getting Started. And then it goes through, Unit 0, Getting Started, that's the module title. And then as we go through here, we have 9 kind of like sub-ingredients or sub-areas of this module. And look at right here, the welcome, Canvas calls welcome, that's going to be a page. Meet your facilitators is a page within Canvas. Face-to-face meetings is a page. Note on notifications is a Canvas page. And then we get to Unit 0, discussion. Canvas calls that a discussion, okay? And then 0.6 is another page. And then here we go. 0.7 is a hands-on assignment. And in Canvas, that's called an assignment, okay? And then again, reading is a page, 0.8, and then 0.9, the Q&A form, that's another discussion. What else could be added to this module? Again, as we spoke of, Canvas, they call them quizzes. We could add a quiz in here. I don't know if it works for you. You could create a page with like an attachment, which is like a reading for the week. Maybe you have some ancillary readings you want to do. Another page might be an attachment of, and this one's kind of sticky, so just listen, kind of stick with me here. PowerPoint, you know, sometimes our publishers provide PowerPoints. You have a PowerPoint that you want your students to have access to. Convert it to a PDF, and then include that in a page. And that could be another one of these like 1 through 9 or 10 or however many content areas you have within your module. Okay, so you need to include module title, and you could see on our example that's emboldened. And then going down, here's our second module, Unit 1. And it's called Introduction to Canvas, and that's what we're going to start working on in this class on Friday. But again, we look through here, here's the different components. We have at the top, we have a page, some reading in a page, overview on instructional content is a page, and then here we are with our assignment, you know, where you're actually going to submit something. And then another assignment, adding an announcement. And then here we go, here's a quiz. And then a discussion, and then lastly, an overview or unit summary in our enrichment section. So this shouldn't be longer than 1 Word page, you know, like a Word document. It shouldn't be longer than 1 page, just a simple outline letting us know, hey, this is what you can expect to see in my final, and this is what's going to help me, okay? So we've heard, Chris and I were talking, are there any questions right now about kind of this outline? And let's talk maybe a little bit about modules. Do you have any questions about modules? Anybody?
There's one question from Paul. Are your online courses always going to be taught in a 1 month format? Is this a standard timeline? Is there flexibility or timeline, or is it a best practices standard?
Maybe, is it Paul? Are you? I know we can't hear you, but are you talking about this intro to Canvas one, or are you talking about like a semester length course?
In general, for a Canvas course, or how we designed it, a semester. So what we're doing is we're teaching the best practices as we've learned through Canvas and throughout how other colleges have designed their courses. This is one format that you can take with you, or we can sit there and you can sit down with me personally or with Michael personally. We can take a look at your outline, and based on your outline, we can help you design a course that works best for what you teach. But this is just a guideline that you can use as we help you get used to Canvas, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question, Paul? It's very important if you have any questions or any concerns as far as this unit create a course outline assignment, how you set this up, because this will definitely be the foundation for your success in this course and how you build out your modules. So if you don't understand how the modules work, please reach out to Michael via the conversations inbox, and we can help you work on this in more detail.
Okay. So for unit 0.7, this create a course outline, we said, okay, you need to submit it using a Word document. So what you're going to need to do is literally open up a Word document and do your, identify your module, probably embolden or using your, if you're familiar with Word styles, use style heading 1, style heading 2, whatever it is you're going to use. And then below that, give us an overview of what the content of that module will be. How are you going to get your students to the end of that module, grasping, the knowledge that you expect them to have at the end? Now, again, getting into some easier practices, you could see with our example, which is highlighting in purple, using this format 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. I think that's a really good way to just help us alleviate some frustration with talking to students, trying to identify problem areas. So maybe that's something you want to think about. So you go into Word, you create the Word document, you put your, start with your 2 module headings, start filling in the blanks. What are we going to do to get from point A to point Z in that module? Save it. Create some sort of naming convention that works for you. Maybe use the title of the course in it, GC5, with your name, and then save it. And then you could see, I'm back at the top of the screen, some nice features here. You have your due date, you have how many points, how can this assignment come in, submitting it using a file upload. We, as the instructor, can designate how students are submitting assignments to us. So on this one, you can only submit 3 file types. It needs to be a doc, docx, or a PDF. If a student tries to submit, a .rtf through Apple Pages, it's not going to accept it because that's not an acceptable file type that we are allowing for. So here, for assignment 0.7, we ask that you use docx, or PDF only to submit it. And then when you're ready, everything's, the file's saved, it's sitting on your computer somewhere. I'm at the top right of the screen. Submit assignment is what we're going to do. And it's real simple. All you do is kind of middle of my screen, it says choose file. We're going to click on that. And then we're going into, it just opened one of my directories here, but we'll just, you click on whatever the file is you're going to use, and you could see it attached itself. Okay. And then if you want to leave us a comment, hey, Stuart, I hear you like mocha chinos from Starbucks. Can I buy you one and pass the class? Maybe you want to bribe me and I'll accept it. and then you hit submit assignment and it'll come to us. And you could double check your work by going, once you think it's submitted, you'll be able to look and see, okay, did it actually go? And then also too, you could go back in it and take it down and resubmit it if you feel you need to. Now, that's how we submit the assignments. And I'm going to just submit mine for good measure. Okay, and you can see immediately it says, hey, you can resubmit this assignment. The blue button, top right screen if you want to. And then also on the far right, submission. You know it was turned in because it says, okay, check, turned it in. And then here's the details about, what you did. Scrolling down, again, no surprises. At the very bottom, you have there's the rubric for this assignment, okay? Outline submitted or it wasn't submitted using the details that we've asked you to use. So module headings and then subheadings on, the kind of like the meat and potatoes of that module. And we're gonna do that for 2 modules, okay? Once we're done there, we're going down to the bottom and our next button, and here's some tools for you, just reminders. Maybe set up a bookmarking account. You're going to get a lot of good resources through the course, and it's really nice to just be able to go back to one of these bookmarking resources to call it up later on down the road. Here's a reminder about our grading policy. Okay, 80% required. Remember, no point accrual for late submissions, and you can't open a later unit until you finish the preceding unit. Here's final project information, just a reminder. And then here's a nice little video, again, tutorial series talking about grades and checking grades. How do you know, when grades are being added, feedback's being given? Make sure you're looking at these tutorial videos to check out these options. And again, their library's really robust at Canvas, so we could check quite a few videos on every topic that they have. Okay, so from here, mark as done and scroll to the next page, or click to the next page if you will. And here we go. So right now it's telling me I've completed everything to get into the next unit because it says, well, there's no prerequisites. Kind of nice. And we're not going to open this though until the end of the week to get you into unit 1. All right. So with that, that kind of gets us to where I think we need to be. Any lingering questions or anything we need to loop back to?
Why don't we go ahead and let's make this a lot easier and unmute everyone. Can you give me hosting rights back, please?
Let me see here. Help me. Where do I go?
You can find, I believe you can find my video if you hover over my
Yep,
face.
I just did it. There you go. Chris Rogers is the host. Go for it.
All right, so let's unmute. Unmute. No, wait a minute. Unmute. Everybody should be unmuted. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you. It's Joanne. Can you hear me?
Yay. All right. So do we have any final questions that we have? At least we know how to get started in the actual course. Are there any other concerns? Are you concerned about the 6-week course time or how the assignment is going to be submitted for the first half or anything else? Please let us know. We got about, it's 2:18 right now. We got about 12 minutes before we're actually done with our orientation.
I have a question.
Yes. And who is it? But when you ask a question, say your name and then ask the question.
This is Olivia Carroll.
Hi, Olivia.
Hi. My question is, if for whatever reason you are unable to join the orientation or live meeting, Zoom meeting next Friday, can we, it appears, or I thought you said you were going to put it on YouTube so we could view it later.
Correct. Like right now, we're actually recording this one. So once our session's done today, I'm going to upload it to YouTube. There will be an announcement posted in the course with a link to a page in the course for the actual orientation. So for those that have attended, that want to come back and review some of the things that Michael said so they can add to their notes, or for those that are unable to attend for any future sessions, you'll be able to watch those YouTube videos of what we talked about. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of that, because as you guys start getting into the units, Unit 1, Unit 2, Michael will go over a lot more detail as far as that topic in general. That's not covered in the course. So you're actually gonna get a lot more training and a lot more information that goes beyond the actual course content. So if you're not able to attend, please, I encourage you to attend, watch the YouTube videos when they're posted, or you can also schedule if any one of you want to schedule a one-on-one with myself. To answer any questions specifically about your course, if you want to do it via Zoom or within my office, be more than happy to do that as well.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Okay, there are. Paul is asking, Michael, of all your courses 4-week courses?
No, Paul. My classes are my AOJ classes are either 8 or 16-week courses. 8 or 16-week. I don't have any 4-week. The shortest I've done an online class was 6 weeks. I'd done those all 3 previous summers, and I took the summer off.
Paul was kind of having an issue with how, I guess, as far as the course outline and understanding how to set one of those up efficiently. So most people, Paul, with most folks that are doing 16-week courses or 8-week courses here at Grossmont, in Canvas, they will, on the homepage, you noticed on the homepage, I post links to the key modules that we're working on, and since this is a 5-unit course, that's all that matters. With instructors that are doing 16-week courses or 8-week courses, they might do the first 4 modules, post them up on the homepage so they're for easy access, and then they have students go in and they'll take those modules down and then add the subsequent modules. So maybe you might want to have modules 1 through 4 listed in your course, and then once you get to the 4th module, they might take those off the homepage and list 5 through 8 and so on and so forth. And they just do it in chunks. Hopefully that made sense.
This is Joanne, Chris. But you can put all 16 modules up there for the students so that they can see it, right?
You can, and you also have the ability to unpublish and publish modules.
Right, okay.
So in the modules section, they'll also do that. They'll have modules 1 through 4 published, and then once you get into like 5 through 8, they might unpublish a couple others to make it easier, to make the module section easier to manage.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you.
All right, so if there are no other questions at this time, we'll go ahead and get concluded. So to get started, what we're going to do like I said, after this is done, I'm going to upload the video up to YouTube. We're going to send out one more official announcement to the entire course and to the rest of the faculty that were unable to attend today, that this orientation is available and how to actually get started in the course. If you can, read over that welcome page again, watch that 11-minute that 11-minute video. It gives you a more detailed explanation, more specific explanation on how to navigate the course environment. And then for this week, all you will be concerned about is working on 0.5 for your discussion introductions and submitting the course outline. And then if you have any other questions, you can contact Michael via the conversations inbox. Also, you want to watch for your announcements when you go into that notification section. Make sure that notify me right away is set so you can receive our announcements via email. You can be notified and get those announcements right away in your. And with that being said, we thank you for attending, and we look forward to working with you for the next 6 weeks.
Take care.
Thank you, Chris and Michael.
Hey, you guys have a good day.
You too. Bye.